tuning in to two former NFL scouts, Vitale and Kelly, covering the NFL and college football like nobody else. Vitale, a four-time Super Bowl winner who worked for 6 NFL teams and held executive roles with 3 of them, the Patriots, Falcons, and Cowboys. And Kelly, a former pro scout with the New York Jets and current scouting director at FirstRoundMock.com. You've listened to the rest. Now it's time to hear from these two.
Hello, Lionel. How are you doing today?
Awesome, Danny. Awesome. Ready to rock and roll. Brand new football year. Can you
Brand
believe it?
new. I know. They put the ball in the tee last night, and they started, actually, with the defending Super Bowl champions coming out and beating, of course, Kansas City, beating Baltimore 27-20, Lionel.
Yeah, it was a great game. Great game. Went down to the last play.
Hey, I tell you what, the NFL knows how to throw a party and how to start one. And but today we're looking into our crystal ball, our NFL crystal ball. We're looking ahead. We're looking past this season, and we're looking at current NFL head coaches who have the best chance of getting that bust. You know how they chisel out those faces, getting a bust in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's the right kind of bust. You know, players don't want to be a bust. These guys do want to bust one day, but of their faces in the Hall of Fame. And of course, we'd be remiss of us not to talk about Bill Belichick right off the bat. We both work with him on staff with the New York Jets, and obviously he's taking the year off coaching. He's going to be back, as we've talked about on a previous show. His 6 rings, New England Patriots. He's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame, so we're just going to put him in right off the bat. But we're going to be talking today about current head coaches this year who have the best shot at this thing in the Hall of Fame, and I want to get your opinion line on all of them. All records, when we talk about these coaches' records, are courtesy of ProFootballReference.com. And we're going to start with one of those coaches we saw in the game last night, John Harbaugh with the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, they have the 2-time NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson, at quarterback. He won a Super Bowl with Baltimore back in 2012. In terms of a football resume, 160 victories, 99 losses. Of course, the loss last night brings it up to an even 100. But, you know, that's his record as a coach heading into this season. I've got to ask you, Lionel, when it comes to John Harbaugh, is he one more Super Bowl victory away from being enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in your mind?
I think so. If he gets one more Super Bowl victory, that'll be 2 for him. He's in. I looked at him last night on that sideline, man. He just looks like a big-time Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame type coach. I think John Harbaugh is on his way. One more win, one more Super Bowl, and he's cemented it. He's got it.
Yeah, and I think it's important you bring up a good point, Lionel. You talk about all these coaches we're talking about today, the ones that we're naming as potential Hall of Famers, all have that one thing in common, which is one Super Bowl trophy. For sure, if not more. One of these guys has more than one, but that's a prerequisite. So are you saying that 2 really is the magic number in your mind to be considered for the Pro Football Hall of Fame and be a strong candidate?
I think if you get 2, you just about have it locked up. It's tough to get 1, okay? So you have 2, and you have some winning behind your record, or a high volume of wins. You're in. It's 2, and you're in. You're in.
And I like that, too, how you added that high volume of wins as well, which we'll get more into with one of our candidates down the list here. The next guy up is Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, that Steelers team just personifies Mike Tomlin. The quarterback situation a little bit up in the air right now, but it's not quite as good as some of these situations. Maybe not. We'll see. But when you look at Tomlin, he won the Super Bowl back in 2008 when the Steelers beat the Cardinals, and of course his football resume is heavy. 173 victories versus 100 losses heading into the season. Mike Tomlin, this is interesting, has never had a losing season. Is he in with one more win?
You know, he's almost in with One win. I mean,
No, I agree.
Dan,
I
in a
agree.
National Football League, the guy has never had a losing season. Are you kidding me? When you watch Pittsburgh Steelers play, you say, man, they're ready. They come to play every week. I mean, Mike Tomlin, I was going to say Mike T, Coach Tomlin is a future Hall of Famer, man. You just listen to the guy talk at the podium. You say, that's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, but if he gets one more, it'll be two. Definitely he's a shoo-in, but I think he gets in with one.
Yeah. I think he's already in too. I agree
Yeah.
with you there. Next guy up is Sean McVay, Los Angeles Rams. McVay, of course, won the Super Bowl with the Rams back in 2021. 70 wins, 45 losses. Stable quarterback situation with Matthew Stafford. He has a great reputation, Lionel, as a head coach, and a young one at that. He's 38 years old. I mean, he's looked at around this league as being I say this respectfully, but a baby genius. I mean, would you
Yeah.
agree with that? I mean, how do you see Sean McVay with Rams?
Yeah, he came into the league with that sort of that reputation as a smart guy. He's only 38 now. Okay, he's been a head coach for how many years?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, quite a few, at least over 6, 7, 8 years. And he wins all the time. He's a consistent winner. You listen to the guy when he's being interviewed, you're like, wow, I want to hear that. He's smart, he's sharp. And then he wins Super Bowl. And then when you think his teams are not ready to take it to the next level on a given year, they're playing at a high level. I love Coach Sean McVay.
Me
I
too.
think one more win, definitely he's a Hall of Famer. He's so smart. He's 38 years old, and he's considered a genius. I love him. I think Sean McVay is going to be a Hall of Famer one day.
Wow, yeah, I agree with you on that one too. The next guy is a shoe, and just like Bill Belichick, we opened up the show talking about Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, my gosh, this guy has won 3 Super Bowls with the Chiefs. Let's not forget the good work he did back with the Philadelphia Eagles. With Kansas City, he's developed one of the best quarterback really in the league, Patrick Mahomes. Career record, talk about heavy. This is even heavier, if there is such a thing. 258 victories versus 144 losses. I mean, he's already in, right, Lionel?
Yeah, Coach Andy Reid is a walking Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
As we watch him on the sidelines, he had a great run in Philadelphia. Now he's got 3 Super Bowls to his credit already in Kansas City, and still going forward. Going to win more probably with Pat Mahomes. Coach Andy Reid, man, he is the real deal. And yeah, Coach Andy Reid's a Hall of Famer. Good to see him. He seems like a great guy.
He is one of the most genuine and just real human beings I've ever encountered in the NFL. I had a chance to come face to face with him and talk to him at the NFL scouting combine. And, I was the only person in the room when he talked to me. I mean, he's just a great individual and a great person. Now I want to, and a great coach, obviously. Now I want to switch it up, Lionel, and I want to look at current head coaches a little bit different here. They've won a Super Bowl, but with another team that they're currently coaching with. I want to start off by talking about Doug Peterson with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, back in 2017, he led the Philadelphia Eagles to their first Super Bowl title. Now he's down in Jacksonville. He has Trevor Lawrence, 60-53 on the old football resume as a head coach. He's at with an average. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's an average Jacksonville team. Would he be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame lineup with one more Super Bowl win in your mind?
No, not quite. I think Coach Peterson has to win more, has to add more victories to his numbers, to the win column. Just 60 some odd wins. I don't think that quite does it. Jacksonville, he's got Trevor Lawrence. He has a quarterback. He's got to pile more wins, stack on more wins. I think he's not there. His numbers are not there. Good that he's got the one Super Bowl win. You got to have it to qualify.
Right.
But other than that, I think he still has a way to go building his resume.
Interesting. And then the next guy on the list is Sean Payton, of course, from the Bill Parcells coaching tree. Parcells, of course, is a Hall of Famer himself. Payton won the Super Bowl back with the New Orleans Saints in 2009, of course, with quarterback Drew Brees. He has a career record on the old football resume of 160 and 98. And now he's with Denver. He has this rookie quarterback he selected at Oregon, the first round, Bo Nix. It's kind of interesting because he did this with Drew Brees. Some people are saying that, Nix reminds him of Brees. I mean, yes, it's been an average Denver team so far that has struggled with the whole Russell Wilson debacle when they traded all that draft capital to Seattle. But if this comes to fruition, Lionel, and he leads the Broncos to the Super Bowl and they win it with Bo Nix, he'll have two. Will that do it? Will that put Sean Payton and enshrine him into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in your mind?
Yeah, I think Sean needs another win. I think he personifies the head coach title. He just carries himself like a head coach and a leader. But I think he needs another win. He needs another Super Bowl victory, Dan. One for Sean Payton is gonna fall a little short, I think. I don't see him like a Mike Tomlin who gets in with one win. I think Sean needs to win one more to solidify him and get him over that hump as a future Hall of Fame coach. But I like what he's done with his career so far, but Sean needs one more win.
One more would lock it in for Coach Payton.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And then last on the list here of guys who have a Super Bowl ring as a head coach, somebody you're very familiar with, that you work with on staff with the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Of course, he won the Super Bowl back with Green Bay in 2010 with Aaron Rodgers. Career record on the football resume, 167 victories versus 102 losses. Now he's with Dallas. I mean, he did in Green Bay, as I mentioned, with Rodgers. Now he's in Dallas with Dak Prescott, but has not been able to get them anywhere really legitimately close back to returning to the big dance, let alone winning it. Would Mike McCarthy get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Lionel, with the Dallas Cowboys with one more Super Bowl victory?
Well, Mike McCarthy needs another victory in a Super Bowl to qualify. He would not get in with one win because he's taken a beating, man. He took beatings in Green Bay because they said, oh, he's got great quarterbacks. It's not him. It's the quarterback. So he took a beating there. Now he's taking beatings in Dallas because why? They can't win in playoffs. Get to the playoffs and they fall apart. So he's just taking a beating. So he needs to get two to qualify him. One will not because this guy, for some reason, is just taking – Coach McCarthy is just taking a beating as a head coach.
Wow, so the way you say that is emphatic.
Yeah. I mean, you read the stuff too, Danny.
Yeah,
and we all see it. I mean, they're firing him every week. They have everybody coming in to take his job.
True.
No. So it just doesn't sound good. He needs to win one more, however, to qualify to take him to the next level.
Okay, a little bit more, about 2 minutes left in our show today, and a name comes to my mind as we're talking that let's call him an honorary mention for this list. Now, he doesn't have any Super Bowl rings as a head coach, but he is known as being an offensive play calling genius. He is known as a quarterback whisperer. He's somebody that you have worked on staff with. Of course, I'm talking about Kyle Shanahan and the good work he's done, throughout the full body of work on his football resume. Let's say that Coach Shanahan, I want to get your opinion on this quickly. Let's say he wins that Super Bowl with the 49ers, and he just wins one. Let's just call it what it is, one. Would that get him into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, or is he like everybody else in this list? Basically, it takes two to really solidify his spot in order to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What's your opinion on Kyle Shanahan and how this shakes out?
Well, my opinion, first of all, let's just say I worked in the NFL for 35 years, and I worked with a lot of coaches, Bill Belichick on down. Kyle Shanahan is the best offensive mind I have ever been around as a player, as a scout, as an executive. Kyle Shanahan is the best offensive mind I've ever been around. He's so far ahead of everyone else. He's just special. Okay, if he gets one win, Dan, and he ends up with one win in the Super Bowl, I think you're still down the road going to talk about him because he's always going to have a job as a head coach. He's always going to win 10 games Because why? He can take teams and he can take quarterbacks to the next level. Look what he's doing with Brock Purdy, the last pick of the draft. And he's done it his whole career with quarterbacks. I can't say enough about Kyle Shanahan. I think he's great. And look, would have had a Super Bowl in Atlanta if they would have just used the clock wisely. Okay, but Kyle Shanahan is the real deal, man. He gets one Super Bowl. I think down the road you'll say, man, this is a Hall of Fame type guy. Kyle Shanahan.
Especially, Lionel, I feel that if he does with Brock Purdy, as I touched on just a moment ago, you're talking about, I mean, Mr. Irrelevant, the last player picked in the draft, that I think that would move the meter for him. I think that would do it.
Yeah. I mean, what he's done with Brock Purdy now is MVP candidate every year because of Kyle Shanahan. It is Kyle Shanahan. It's systematic. A lot of his stuff with his quarterbacks are systematic. He puts them in places to be successful. Receivers are running downfield wide open because of his designs. All you have to do is throw it to a spot. The guy's waiting on the ball. He's wide open. So give credit to Kyle Shanahan. He is the bomb, man. I love that guy. Great coach.
For sure. He's the honorary member on this list. Hey,
absolutely.
Great stuff as always, Lionel. Please like and share the show and tell your friends at the office about us and join us for our next show when we're going to talk about the big news and the big stories around the National Football League, Lionel. That should be a good one.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us for the latest episode of two former NFL scouts, Vitale and Kelly. No nonsense, uncensored, hard-hitting football analysis. Weekdays